Ready? Play.
A nice time to get used to the conditions here and feel pretty good.
Some ATP players have complained about the balls here. I was wondering, since you are a very technical, specific person, how you feel about the conditions, the balls.
Yeah, don't like the balls either. Not my favorite, but I mean, it is what it is. So you have to kind of find a solution or something that will make you not think about that or adapt, basically. But no, yeah, the balls seem. Again, I don't think a tennis ball should be 3 times the size after like a 2-minute hit down the middle. So that's not great, but. And yeah, it can affect the conditions because it's like when they're new, it's dry here, so it flies, and then all of a sudden they get really fluffy, and then they don't go anywhere, and then it can change a lot from during the day to at night and get pretty cool, and so you're kind of you're problem solving a little bit for that, and I wish that was a variable that we didn't have to be so worried about, but again, like I said, it is what it is, so you kind of have to just adapt because everybody is in the same position.
Chris, is that a question? Yep.
Yes. I know you talked about this a bit in San Diego, but alluding to the coaching change and the changes in your team, I just wonder if you could talk a bit about what made you make the decision and if it feels a little bit like a fresh start for you, sort of like a new beginning.
It definitely does. I mean, Dave and I obviously had a lot of success, and what we were able to accomplish together was pretty amazing, but I think having started with him when I was maybe 25 or something like that, and then being 30 this year, I think I'm just in a much different place, a different ranking, a different place personally and in career-wise. So I just felt like I needed take some chances, and I'm 30. Not that 30 is the end, but I think I just didn't want to look back and be like, oh, I wish I would have maybe tried someone else or tried something different. And it wasn't just because obviously I've been successful. It's not like I've been losing and it's like I need to change something, but I think it was just more to keep pushing myself, and I didn't want to feel comfortable. I felt like maybe I was a little too comfortable, and then things weren't, I wasn't maybe getting pushed as much as I wanted to be, so I kind of wanted to change things up, and I think being uncomfortable makes you learn new things and pushes you in different directions and can be really helpful. So we'll see how it goes, but more or less it was just me wanting to make a little bit of a change, and I felt like it came pretty naturally. It wasn't, nothing happened. It wasn't, anything bad. It was just more me, like you said, kind of maybe starting a little bit of a new chapter in my career.
Right. You talked about comfort level. Clay court season's coming up.
Mm-hmm.
What was your learning curve on clay and sliding, figuring all that out? When did you feel like you started to get it?
Yeah. Because I grew up a lot on green clay, which is, not the same, but it's different. You're sliding. So I was always comfortable sliding and moving around on it. I think it was more just me implementing different parts of my game, drop shotting more, slicing more, having to think a little bit more about the point. It's not quite as straightforward as maybe a hard court is. So I think once my intangibles got a lot better, then it kind of fit into my clay game a lot more, and I started seeing more success on clay than before. And then I think I became a little bit of a better tennis player, taking the ball earlier, using the angles a little bit more, changing the pace a little bit more, and that can, help you on clay. And then I think it's a lot too just mental. Just accepting that maybe you're not going to get great bounces, the conditions might be a little weird, but you just have to figure it out. And to me, that was kind of the biggest change. It's like, okay, I'm not going to go in hating the clay season. I'm going to go in and you have to embrace it, and embrace that it might be a little bit of a learning curve.
You had a question? Hey, yes?
Was fatigue a factor in the doubles final in San Diego?
Fatigue? No, I wouldn't say it was. I mean, we didn't play till really later in the day, especially with the rain delay. So, no, I don't really think so.
What happened?
We just got crushed. We lost a lot of no-ad points, and some days you win a lot. Like the night before, everything went right for us. We won like every no-ad and got a couple let court winners and like all that stuff. And then the next day it like flipped, and sometimes in doubles, that's really all it is, especially with the scoring. And we weren't as lucky, and they played well too. Yeah, they're a top team, so it's tough.
Aki, yes.
Hi. When you were talking about your coach, you said that you don't want to regret in the future.
Mhm.
So at this point, what is your goal or like bucket list still left in your career?
Yeah, obviously Grand Slams, I think being number one, those were always goals of mine when I was younger. Winning more tournaments is always a goal. Every time we're entered into a tournament, that's the goal, is to win the tournament by the end of the week. And so, I would say all of those things. And yeah, I think what I meant by that is just, I want to keep pushing myself to improve and trying new things. And I've always felt every time I did have a coaching change or I came back from an injury or anything, I was always able to improve things and get better. So hopefully I'm able to do the same thing in this situation. And I just didn't want to leave not knowing that I didn't try, that I didn't try a couple of different things. And hopefully for the next, 3 to 5 years, I can really push myself to try different things. And then whenever I'm done, I can look back and know that I tried everything that I could to achieve, all the goals. And I think that's really the most important.
Last couple of questions. Yes.
Hi. Andy Roddick mentioned in his podcast that he worked with you a little bit on hitting and working your serve. What was that like? Is that a one-time thing, or do you think he'll keep that going?
Yeah, that was really cool. He was commentating for the Pickleball Slam, actually, and he happened to just be in Florida, and he was texting me a little bit, and he just said, hey, I can come to you in Boca, and he used to live there, and he was familiar with the area, so he wasn't far away. And so, he just came, we hit a little bit, and we hit some serves, and he was just kind of picking my brain on how I like to play, and he was telling me his thoughts. And he's pretty, straight up with you. He's like, listen, you can listen to me, you cannot listen to me, I don't really care. He's like, I just really love to help. So I appreciated that, and it was pretty cool to be able to get advice from him. And I think I always really like getting advice from everybody.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.